Alright guys, today's video is all about my top 10 favorite games on the PlayStation VR. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I've actually neglected my PSVR ever since the Quest 2 came out. And of course, I have a headset on my PC where I play PC VR as well. So the PSVR has kind of been sitting in the corner, not getting much love over a year now. But I forget how great those games are, and I actually missed a couple of great games that have actually released over the past year that I just started playing here in the last couple of weeks. And I realized again and how good PlayStation VR games are. And this game is going to concentrate on the exclusive PlayStation VR games that you can only play on PSVR and not on anything else like the Quest or the PC, to give you guys a reason on why the PSVR is still a viable place to play VR games until, of course, we get the PSVR 2, and hopefully we can play these games on there as well. But for right now, let's go ahead and talk about some of the 10 great games on PlayStation VR.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
First one here coming in at number 10 is Farpoint. So Farpoint was one of the first games that I remember playing on the PlayStation VR that really made me feel like PlayStation VR was different. And I'm sure a lot of you guys remember why, and that's because of the aim controller. A peripheral that you can actually use that had the move controllers kind of attached to it on the ends, and you actually felt like you were holding a gun in VR, and it worked extremely well. And this game is so much fun to play with that controller. It sets it apart from other headsets out there. The gameplay, the story is really fun. Even the multiplayer, even though it's obviously not as alive as it was back then now, but the story and the multiplayer were both fantastic to play. A lot of fun, a lot of things to do, and like I said, the gun and the aim controller definitely set it apart from a lot of other games, but the story and the multiplayer were still really, really fun. The multiplayer was definitely a standout when I used to play this all the time. Farpoint coming in at number 10. The next one on this list coming in at number 9 is PlayStation VR Worlds. So this is a demo of sorts that they kind of showed a little bit of what the PlayStation VR can do. And it's still one of my favorite experiences because of how well things were done in here. It showed us what Blood and Truth would look like eventually, one of another PlayStation VR games. That, spoiler, we'll be talking about later. But then there's also games that, are in here, like the Shark experience that I still show off to people that, is one of my standouts to show to people when they come over. It looks really good, and there's nothing like it that exists somewhere else. There's a lot of other demos on here, like the Street Racer one you're looking at here, that is very different from other games that you've seen. It's a lot of fun to play as well. They just add a lot of cool demos in this game and a lot of cool experiences in here in one total package that definitely made it work. And I'm using the term demo because these are shorter experiences, but they're not demos, they're actual experiences in games that you can play. But yeah, this is still a standout to show friends and kind of get in there and show what PlayStation VR can do. Nothing like this exists on other platforms, so I still show this one off to family and friends. PlayStation VR Worlds coming in at number 9. The next one coming in here at number 8 is Playroom VR. So this is where social really gets involved in the PlayStation VR. One of the things that I love about PlayStation VR is the fact that you can, while you're playing the VR headset, everybody can see what's going on the screen really easily on the TV. And this game lends to that really well because this is all about, using these multiplayer on your TV to be able to play VR. And they have a bunch of different mini games. Basically, there's one person playing the headset. Other people may be playing on the controllers, like you're seeing here, where the person who's in the headset in this mini game, for example, is trying to destroy everything, and you're trying to, on the controller, trying to take him down, and he's throwing things at you, and you're dodging him and stuff. Really, really fun. Again, nothing like other VR platforms that kind of do this social stuff a lot. It's hard to come by on other platforms to do games like this, where you're actually, some players are playing on a controller, and then other players are playing on the VR headset. There's not many games like that on other platforms, and this one is a real standout on PlayStation VR because it is a party game. You can actually bring out your VR headset and not feel like you're, rotating the headset around or only playing the VR headset yourself. Everyone can be on the couch getting into these mini games while there's one person in VR, and you can kind of rotate and be like, all right, let me get a turn on the VR headset, and now everyone else will be on the controllers. A lot of fun mini games in this one. Definitely not a game to be missed. You can see this one's like a ghost Busters experience that you're doing, which is really cool, where you're actually collecting ghosts and stuff as the person in VR. And this one here is about finding different players in the room that are the person who are trying to hide from you. It's like a hidden movement type game, which is also really fun. Like I said, there's a lot to enjoy in this one, and really, really fun. Playroom VR coming in at number 8. The next one here, coming in at number 7, is a game that is still popular to this day and still has people playing all the time because of how well made this game is. and then it's Firewall 0 Hour. Well, definitely the best multiplayer shooter on the PlayStation VR, and still regarded as one of the best shooters, in VR in general. People have a lot of fun with this one. This is another game that's also works really well with the aim controller gun that I was talking about before. It's my preferred way of playing this game. This is kind of like a Rainbow Six in VR. You have you can do terrorist hunt like that game has in this game, where everyone's playing co-op and you're trying to take all the terrorists out. Or sometimes you're playing, obviously there's multiplayer where you're playing against each other, team versus team, to be the last team standing. Game's still getting updates to this day. They have released new maps and stuff. It seems like this game is still well supported, even though it came out a long time ago. So if you're looking for an active multiplayer, shooter in PlayStation VR, there's still this one. It's still very active. The community's really excited about this game, and it's really fun. Even though I own other platforms, this is one of my favorite multiplayer shooters. The next one coming in here at number 6 is a game called Fract. Now, this is one of the games that I actually missed on the PlayStation VR. It came out 4 months ago, and I've kind of neglected my PlayStation VR until I finally heard about this game, which is what made me make this video for you guys, to kind of give you guys what's been going on with the PSVR and get me back into it. And this game is just a ton of fun. It's a story game, and you're going through. I love the style of this game, the shooting mechanics in this game, the over-the-top action, as you guys are seeing here. It's all about like skiing down a mountain and taking these enemies out and climbing and stuff like that. It's so much fun. The movement system is fun. The only thing that holds this game back from being higher on the list is that it's kind of on the short side. I wish it was a little longer. I think most people are beating this in like 2 to 3 hours, but it's still a hell of a 2 to 3 hour campaign that you're playing through. So much fun. Like I said, love the art style, love the game. I'm glad that this one came out 4 months ago, and I'm glad I visited it and purchased this one because it's a lot of fun. Fract coming in at number 6. The next one coming in here at number 5 is one of the first PlayStation VR games that I remember playing, and I was like, damn, this game is scary. And that is Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, another game that I still show people because, again, there is not a game like this on any other VR platform, where you're kind of sitting in like a roller coaster type minecart thing, and you're going through like a haunted house, and you're shooting these things that come at you, like the clowns and stuff, but you're also getting scared. The whole experience is just fantastic. One of my favorite VR games ever, actually. Especially to show to other people, because it's a really simple game. You're in a cart and you're going through a haunted house. There's a variety of different areas that you can walk through and like go in and stuff to experience, and you're trying to shoot all these targets as you're going through, but then these enemies are coming at you and you're shooting them as well. And it's scary as all hell, even especially for people new to VR. If you show them this, they're gonna freak out. And it still holds up to this day. I love this game. I still play it every once in a while when I fire up the PlayStation VR because of how much fun this one is. If you guys have not played this game, you definitely need to check this one out because it is a ton of fun. This is Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, coming in at number 5. The next one here coming in at number 4 is Marvel's Iron Man VR. And man, when this game was announced for the PlayStation VR that was coming, I could not be more excited. As a huge Marvel fan and not having a lot of Marvel games out there represented in VR, I was super excited when this got announced exclusively for the PSVR. And I think they did a fantastic job with this game. I love being Iron Man. I love the flying mechanics and how you're flying all over the place. I love how you actually feel like you're Iron Man. If you ever wanted to feel like you're Iron Man, this definitely makes you feel just like that. The graphics are also really well done, especially, if you bring this game onto the PlayStation 5 and use your VR headset there, because it does use and have more processing power to make the resolution even better and stuff, make the game run even better. And it just looks so good. The graphics are great, like I said, and the story is a lot of fun to play through. And no better feeling than being Iron Man in VR and playing the Marvel Universe in VR is so much fun. And I'm super, super excited that this game exists on the PlayStation VR because I'll be playing this one all the time as a huge Marvel fan. And yeah, check this one out. Marvel's Iron Man VR coming in at number 4. The next one here coming in at number 3 is a game that we probably all know from PlayStation VR because it's kind of the one that got everyone hooked as soon as the PlayStation VR got announced and people started talking about this game, so it's not a surprise. And that is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And man, if we want to talk about one of the scariest games of all time in VR, this is definitely it. This game was definitely built from the ground up for VR, and you can tell because everything is just so well done when using that headset. Yes, even though like the best way to play this game, in my opinion, is using the the controller, the regular PlayStation controller DualShock, it's still a fantastic experience having that headset on. It is nothing like you've ever experienced before in a Resident Evil game. This is why I want every Resident Evil game to be made in VR, because of how well they proved this game can be done on here. And this game, you know, kind of brought it into everyone's mind. Everybody who played it's like, damn, I want every Resident Evil game in VR. Hence why there's so many mods out there on PC to kind of port the other ones over, because of how much fun people had with this one and how much people wanted more of Resident Evil in VR. It's like I said, a whole new experience. Even if you've played this game before, and you didn't play it in VR, it's an entirely new experience in VR, and you urge yourself to play it, and I guarantee you'll freak out and jump out of your seat at least a few times. It took me a long time to get through this game with how scared I was. So this is definitely not one to be missed if you have a PlayStation VR. Definitely check out Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, coming in at number 3. The next one in here, coming in at number 2, is 100% one of my favorite VR games ever made, and that is Blood and Truth, a fantastic game in and out. This is exactly what VR can do for games and what PlayStation VR did. A cinematic action adventure that you feel like, you know, James Bond, essentially, with all the crazy action, all the crazy explosions, all the crazy things that you're doing. It's so much fun to play this game. This is a game I will replay for years to come. And this is the game that kind of put a lot of people's attention onto the PlayStation VR when it first got announced, because of how well the reviews were and how well this game is done. It is a pretty long game too, 4 to 5 hours for a VR game. That is pretty long, and it's one of my standout games on the PlayStation VR system. Like I said, I'll be playing this over and over again every time I finish it for years to go forward, because of how good this game in VR is. And it even got some updates to work even better on PS5. Blood and Truth coming in at number 2. The next one, of course, coming in at number 1 is probably not a surprise to anybody on this list. It is Astrobot Rescue Mission. This is easily the number 1 game ever made on the VR in PlayStation VR, and it's probably my favorite game in VR ever made, period, with how well this game is made. If you guys are into platformers, you owe it to yourself to see what VR can do for platformers, because this game is like the Mario of VR. That's how good this game is. The environments that you explore, they're all different from each other, and it kind of created a new mascot for VR. You know, this little guy here is the mascot of VR for the PlayStation system, and I think PlayStation knows that. I hope they're working on a Astrobot Rescue Mission 2, because everybody wants it when the PSVR 2 comes out. And this game is so well done. Another game that I will always replay, an easy game to show off to other people, and they're instantly wowed because of how well this game is done, you know. With the unique elements that they're in here, you're not just walking around all the time and platform. There's a lot of cool platforming tricks that they use that can only be done in VR. The graphics are fantastic. The way that you interact with the Astrobot is so cool. And every time that you're playing this game, there's always something new to do. Every single level feels like something new's happening. This is why I compare it to one of the best games ever made for VR, because nothing's ever the same every time you play it. This was such a fantastic game on PlayStation VR. I'm glad that it's part of our collection on the VR system. I hope they're working on a part 2 when PSVR 2 comes out, hopefully in 2022. So, my number 1 game, Astrobot Rescue Mission.
Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that list on the PlayStation VR. As I said before, this is a great VR headset if you guys have a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4. There is a great library of PlayStation VR games, and there's actually still some releasing. Obviously not as fast as it used to be, but there are still some games dropping every now and then on PlayStation VR that you can still look forward to. And these 10 games that I talked about here are the best 10 games you can play on PlayStation VR that are exclusive. Because for me, obviously, I only play exclusives on the PlayStation VR, because if it's a games that exist somewhere else, like the PC, it's going to look better and stuff like that on that, of course. Or if it's on the Quest, I'll have an easier time playing wireless and playing with my friends and stuff. So I usually use the PlayStation VR for exclusives, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are doing right now. So hopefully this list was helpful for you guys to take a look at what some of those are. If you guys have any questions about what you guys saw in today's video, guys, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.